What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of The Wiley Show. We have some very troubling news. Our President Joe Biden, have announced to the world that he will not be seeking re-election, and he have put out that we're going to really talk about that. He said it on his Twitter account that he will not be seeking re-election. We definitely want to do a screen share here and show you all this what the president have put out on X right now. It said it verbatim: "My fellow Democrats, I've decided not to accept the nomination and to focus all my energies on my duties as president for the remainder of my term. My first decision as the party nominee in 2020 was to pick Kamala Harris as my vice president. It's been the best decision I've made tonight. Today, I want to offer my full support and endorsement for Kamala to be the nominee of our party this year. Democrats, it's time to come together and beat Trump. Let's do this." He have endorsed Kamala Harris for president. She, as of right now, is leading for all the money that the donors gave to Biden. It will go to Kamala Harris. So again, this is definitely something. We have breaking news here, and we will be able to do this countdown really quickly. And we want your thoughts. Will you support a Kamala Harris for president? Kamala Harris will definitely have been out campaigning very hard, reproductive rights. She's going to make this about reproductive rights. And now we're hearing that President Trump have already made an announcement and said now that Biden was going to drop out. They said this weeks ago, even before he was almost taken out by an assassin. But so now he have said that about a couple of days before that incident happened in Pennsylvania. And so now they're giving it to Kamala Harris. So, wow, we are definitely talking about it. We'll be right back after this countdown. We got a lot that we got to get into. And I want to get your thoughts. The black women, are you going to support Kamala Harris? Welcome back to another episode of The Wiley Show. If you have not heard that we have had people that is talking about this all over the country, it is true. President Biden have resigned, and he will not, well, he have stepped down as the nominee. I will personally say that I will personally say that he have stepped down as the nominee. Now he will stay as the president. And for people that are asking questions, he will stay as the president. He will not stop being our president. He's going to do the remainder of this term, but he have said that will be no more of him trying to be the nominee for this. This has been a very disastrous campaign for the Democrats. They are not that together. When I say disastrous, disastrous on all levels. Kamala Harris have been trying to keep this party together. President Obama have dropped President Biden. Nancy Pelosi said President Biden couldn't do it. It's just so many people. So I'm going to play this Fox News clip here. And if anybody want to call in and give their thoughts, but I want to hear what you have to say. Would you give this to Kamala Harris? Let me know in the chat. Are you supporting Kamala Harris for president? Can you see her as the president of the United States? Let's definitely do it here. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna play this clip here. This is really something, you guys. This is definitely was not on my bucket list that he was going to resign, um, but they did say on Sunday he will resign, and it is Sunday. So wow. So let's play this clip really quickly.
This is just coming across on social media right now, breaking news, and we'll address the country later this week about next steps. He intends to fulfill the remainder of his term. Kristen, your reaction to this bombshell news?
And it's from him on.
I was just told in my ear, and that's what's breaking on the wires right now.
I think, I think it's an enormous opportunity for our party. And I always think it's really important to have two strong people in the Republican Party and the Democratic Party to have a strong debate and let's figure out who's best to run this country. At the end of the day, we are all Americans and we want to move forward. I hope that my party, the Democratic Party, can use this time as an opportunity to have a debate and have somebody emerge as a candidate who can go toe-to-toe with former President Trump in a productive way so that everybody in this country has a decision to make and they look at it and they can decide and they want to know how they want to move forward.
So we've heard 37 Democrats come forward calling on him to step aside. Mm-hmm. The money people have made it clear that they're done giving money to him as a candidate. Is it a surprise that he has reached this decision?
No, I'm just wondering what's in it for him. He's facing a lot of trouble. He needs to stay in office because of Hunter, because of his own brother. So I'm just curious what was the final breaking point that got him to agree to this? That's what I am most curious about at this point.
And I take it you're not entirely surprised, or maybe you are surprised.
I'm not. I mean, like, if you talk to all my friends who are working on the campaign, this is not a conspiracy. Like, he has been thinking about, like, what's best for the country. This is a man who's served for so many years. He's not going to stay in office to help his son. Like, I mean, he's not weaponizing the judiciary. I mean, he's just not. Like, he's a man who's served this country, and he's been sitting with his wife and his closest advisors and people that he trusts and really working this through. I'm not making it up. I mean, he's been having conversations with Nancy Pelosi and Hakeem Jeffries and really thinking this through. This is not a surprise to me that we all knew a decision was going to come, at some point. And so, no, it's not a surprise given that he's been in these conversations for a while.
And among the concerns for Pelosi and Schumer, of course, were the down ballot concerns, which is if former President Trump's going to win the White House, do you want to lose the Senate and the House? That is
a primary concern. I mean, if you're a Democrat and you're looking at this and like we're not going to have control of the Senate, and if President Trump wins the White House, then you need to look at the House and you're looking at these candidates. And like I said earlier, you have to make sure that you win some of these like really tough seats if you want to maintain or take back control of the House. It's going to be close no matter who it is. But
this is very something for the Democrats because educate the people out here, when the Senate, you have House seats up, you have Senate seats up, you have people just running for mayor all over, and they're banking on a strong ticket because this is going to be a history making. Millions of people are going to vote because a lot more people vote in a general election for president than any other election. So if the top of the ticket is weak for any party, they're worried. Obviously, the Republicans are strong. They're unified. They don't have these issues. President Trump is all about unity of the party. Really have showed. He had the Teamsters union on there. He had African-American on the stage. Really a unified party that I've never seen this party so unified before in my life. And really Trump has toned his rhetoric down. And now he's preaching the unity that this country really needs. Now, Democrats, they are at it's a war because some of the people is not supporting Kamala Harris. Now, if the Democrats are smart, in which we know they're not smart, they should be rally behind Kamala Harris. Because all of the millions that Biden have, Biden have to use or Kamala have to use it. So it just makes sense strategically to go with Kamala Harris. Now, who would Kamala Harris choose? We will go down a list of people that she may choose to be her VP. Let's play more of this clip.
That's a primary concern in the party right now.
Okay, so to recap, statement on X, President Biden says he's stepping aside as a candidate. He intends to focus on fulfilling his duties as president for the remainder of this term. And he says he will address the nation later this week about his decision. Your thoughts?
Well, again, I'm just curious where this is coming from. He said the only reason he would step down is for medical reasons. If he is stepping down for medical reasons, and you're one of the only people that I've heard that have said that he would be stepping down for political reasons. He has never said, I don't think I'm what's best for the party at this point in time. He has literally said it's only for medical purposes. If it is for medical purposes, he shouldn't continue to run the party because he's putting or run the country because he's putting our entire country at risk from a security standpoint, from a mental,
Can
from
I
a
be
health
clear? When I say
standpoint.
political reasons, it's not just nefarious. Political reasons are listening to your constituents and listening to the people.
That they're
right?
going to lose the Senate and House, which you just mentioned.
Yes, of course. And that is how you're talking to people and how they're responding to the president.
So
there is nothing nefarious. There is nothing about this man who he has served this country for
far
50,
too long.
Not far too long. 50 years, but not far too long. He has done it. His sons have done it. He had a son who died, who had served this country in the military.
The past 3.5 years have been a disaster for this country, from the Afghanistan withdrawal to the Biden border crisis, innocent women being raped and murdered because of the open borders. Because of the open borders from President Biden. And so it's interesting because he had literally said earlier this week that he would only resign if it were a medical issue. And, you're saying, looking at the down ballot, it would have a disastrous effect. So it is what it is.
I would like to have a normal, productive conversation that it's not just the party talking points about what this means for how we're going to move forward from now until November and how people are going to make a decision. It would be nice to say, okay, who's going to be the person? And we should talk about whether it's Andy Bashir or Vice President Kamala Harris or, you listed off the number of people. I would like to have a normal conversation about what are their policies, and looking forward, are they juxtaposed with former President Trump? And let's have a real conversation about that. I would like to have a productive conversation.
If you're a betting person, are you betting on the vice president?
I think the vice president has a lot of support that people, if you look behind the scenes.
First of all, we did put out a poll here. People are saying Michelle Obama, that's not going to happen. She can't stand politics. Many people were urging Michelle Obama to do it, but she said no, she do not like politics at all. I put out a poll here. You all let me know where y'all voting at, and I want to show, wait, let me see where the poll is actually at, because I know I put a poll here in the chat, and I also put it on the community wall because I want to get your thoughts of this. I put, who are you voting for? 15 votes are in. We have Kamala Harris, and we also have Donald Trump named on here. We're doing our own polling here, the Wiley Show poll here. 15 votes are in. So make sure y'all vote, so we can see where we're going to be in this particular thing. So give me a second. Let's play a little bit more of this. Breaking news: Biden announced he is stepping aside.
And you've got to get the different factions of the party. Everybody, Republicans and Democrats, you look at. She's got a lot of support. I think there's also a lot of support behind people like Andy Bashir. There's a lot of structural support currently with the vice president, just because she's the vice president. So setting up a whole thing, that's functional, right? Like, you've got a campaign apparatus, you've got all the people on the ground. That's not going to go away. That'll just transfer over. So I think she's got a natural advantage structurally, but who knows? You've got a lot of other people who might be looking at this. We'll see what President Biden says, because when President Biden speaks about it, there are a lot of different ways. He can. It's like, okay, does he support her? Does he endorse her? There are a lot of different, in politics, there are different nuances to this, right? He can say, I support her, right? The words matter. So when he speaks, I think it's going to be very clear. What are we looking at? Are we looking at, does he support like an open convention? Is he So I would watch every single word that he says.
To your point, reacting in real time to this news on X, he did not mention the vice president in his statement. So that creates kind of a bidding war, if you will, or some people looking to potentially jump in. We have the full statement we can show our audience. Quote, it has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president. And while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down. That President Biden on X just a short time ago. We are reacting in real time here on Fox News Live. So you mentioned his statement to the nation later this week. It'll be intriguing to see whether he sticks his neck out to say, this is who I think should be the next in line. Your thoughts?
Well, yeah, and again, I think that the Democrat Party has quite the conundrum moving forward. Again, Kamala Harris has very low polling and approval rating, especially compared to Joe Biden. It's lower than Joe Biden's, and he's stepping aside because he can't win those down ballot races, according to some of your points you made. If you have an Andy Beshear, if you look at Kentucky, if you look at that race, even the people in that state, the only reason he won was because of his name in that state. Every other statewide candidate in that Kentucky race got more votes than him. So you'll likely have a Republican governor in Kentucky. Same thing in North Carolina with Cooper. You look at Shapiro, you have the far left part of the party who are literally turning out people to vote uncommitted because of this administration's stance on Israel. I mean, you're in a really tough spot. I feel bad for the Democrat Party at this point.
Okay, there you go, you guys. So it had been announced that he is stepping aside, and of course we have put so many questions up here. Of course, we're asking you all to vote and give your thoughts here. I'm gonna do it on my backup page too, voting for President Trump, and make sure y'all go to our backup page here because we have some good stuff there on our backup page. Make sure y'all dutifully do that. That is our backup page there. So make sure y'all moderators, y'all grab that and put that on there for the people, our backup page, where we will focus more so on politics and live starting in January of 2025. WWE Raw will be moving to Netflix. So we'll be covering more wrestling content as well as political content as well. So, wow. So let's see what y'all say in the chat here. If anybody want to call in and give their thoughts, who they're supporting in there. I want to hear from Black women. Are you supporting Kamala Harris here? Let me know in this particular chat. I want to get your thoughts here. We are live. If you all can call in and give your thoughts when it comes to that, I would love to see your thoughts of all of that, of who are you supporting in November. Again, Kamala Harris is in the lead to take over, but that's not a guarantee until she get those delegates to support her. It's not official until it's actually official. Okay, let me see what y'all say in the chat here. Trump already lost. Not falling for the BS. I think it's perfect for Kamala, anyone but Trump. That's what someone said in the chat here. Another person is saying on Twitter that they are voting for President Donald Trump because the Democrats do not have everything in order. Again, we are all over X. And let me see if I can bring some other people, what they're saying here. Give me a second. Let's get their thoughts here. Let me see. Where's Jamal Green and see what he actually had to say about this. Okay. This is what an activist is saying in Chicago. You guys, right now, we're gonna show you all this really quickly. I'm gonna do a little screen share here. He's showing this, and let's see if you all agree with it in the chat. prepare for Black women to train to be exempt. Kamala does not identify as one. She identifies as Indian, Jamaican, American. Trump beat Hillary in 2016. Trump will beat Kamala in a landslide. Kamala is unpopular, is a bad choice for the nominee. The Democrats need to have a mini primary. I want to see Westmore, Pritzker, Newsom, Gritchen, and more go at it, or prepare to lose and start over in 4 years. LOL, no, Joe, we good on Kamala. Your thoughts in the chat here. He's pretty much saying that that Kamala is unpopular, that Trump beat Hillary in 2016. So are you saying that that's going to actually happen? Over there, like, wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Let me see. Let me see if I can get some people on here. Give me 1 second. Let me see. I thought y'all was gonna call in today. I want to get what the Black women got to say. What the Black women got to say. This is all crazy, Terry is saying there. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, that was that. Let me see if my other friend here, let me see what he have to say here. Because this is going to come down to if Black women are going to support. We don't know, because Black women are very faithful to the Democratic Party, but will they come out in droves for Kamala Harris? That is the question. Will they come out in droves for Kamala Harris? And that is what Jamal Green is saying here, that it should be other people there. I've always said that the donors, they want Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, to run. This is really, really something here. Actually, let me see if I can get Don on to see if he want to say something. Give me 1 second, you guys. I'm call y'all bear with us. I know y'all doing really good out there. And then we're gonna get to this. Charles, your lunch is ready. Okay, we're gonna get to that, but we have to get to this. Yes, we do have a backup page. The backup page is gonna be really good. Hey, John, this Wiley. Yeah, I wanted hold on once because I'm live on the air. I wanted to get your thoughts of President Trump dropping out the race. Not President Trump, President Biden. I'm sorry. It is official. President Biden have dropped out, and now they're saying that it's going to be a Kamala Harris versus President Donald Trump. I want to get your thoughts on it, more so on the conservative side on Texas. Do you think Texas going to support Kamala Harris? Do you think Black people going to support Kamala Harris? Because this activist in Chicago said that Kamala Harris do not identify as a Black woman. She identified as a Jamaican and Jamaican Indian, an Indian Jamaican. She do not identify as a Black person. So, do you have her support? Do you want to support for Kamala Harris if she the nominee?
No, straight up no. She hasn't did anything to reassure the minority community that she's going to do anything other than what she did in California.
Wow.
Like, yeah. Hold on 1 second. Let me go to the car because I was inside. I was inside blowing through quick. But yeah, like she doesn't get my endorsement. I don't know about others, but I can't get past her track record. And her track record spells that she can be bought out, so to speak. Because I mean, initially that's what happened in California. I mean, she was kind of bought out, and she favored for whoever was bringing in the money, so to speak. she kind of ruled in their favor and stuff like that. So just little stuff like that, man, and just her past how she treated the people in the prison system and other accounts, and how she even got in the position. You know, all that stuff is gonna come out, man. It just if we were gonna have if we had a better representation of a black woman, still have my vote. But we don't have that in Kamala Harris, because she doesn't have I don't feel like she has the moral compass. It's just not there. Like, she's not a leader of women, and that's what you would want in a woman president. Like, you want with a male president, you want a leader of men. And with the woman president, you want a leader of women. And name one thing she's done in the minority community to lead women. Name one thing she's done in her tenure doing anything to help women progress. I'll drop the mic with that.
Yeah, because a lot of people would say, well, she is arguing for reproductive rights. Is that not for women?
I mean, I tell people this. Read the legislation, and then you decide for yourself. Is it for women? Yeah, a lot of things are for a certain demographic, but when it's being implemented, is it for that demographic? That's what you got to ask yourself. When the policies and everything is being implemented, will it help women? Yes or no? And it's going to be overwhelmingly no.
All right, because everybody is definitely saying that. Do you think, my last question, do you think the Republicans, this is Republicans win, automatic landslide? Because people are saying, some people are arguing that this is going to be a landslide for President Trump. Are you expecting a landslide if Kamala Harris is at the top of the ticket?
Yes, because it'll be a landslide only because I don't think this 3-4 months or whatever it is that they're going to have to prepare us enough. It's not enough time. I mean, you're talking about 120 days, bro, before the big time. And I just think with everything that's happened in the world and with the Democratic Party and things like that, because it seems like they're really just scrambling, brother. You know what I mean? And I just don't think they could come up with anything that would challenge the Republicans Party's momentum, for one, and for two, like it's almost like you can just sit back and kind of watch them crumble before your eyes, because it's not going to be as planned and as well executed as it was for the plan they had for Joe Biden. Now they have to do a whole other switch. Now I'll tell you like this: it might be different. It might not be a landslide if they can get on there and they can start doing shit now, but it has to happen now. It ain't no wait. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's not the time to wait because you don't have the time. So Kamala Harris gonna really have to get grassroots and hit her knees to the concrete and really just get out there and do it. If she wants to solidify her legacy, you will see how much work she put in. That'll be a perfect example. If she's a leader of women or leader of people in the free world, you will see what she made of within the next 3-4 months. Her back is against the wall now. She ain't got nowhere to go before it. She can't go no back. It's against the wall. So let's see what she do. Hopefully, you know, she proved a lot of people wrong. But I just don't think it's enough time for her to do all that. And because at the end of the day, this is politics, and this is a different kind of politics than it was 5 or 10 years ago. This is mudslinging at an all-time high. And she has a lot of mud out there, bro. You get what I'm saying? Especially with the minority community. She has a lot of mud. So, you know.
Because when I look at this whole idea, the Republicans, they got Trump. He survived an assassination attempt. They have Trump brought the unions in. Trump also bringing in African-American people that are pissed off what happened in New York. They're not getting the support. Trump have just opened that umbrella or just expanded the Republican Party for the everyday working class. He had the perception that he cared about the working class, the everyday man and woman. The Democrats is just a bunch of confusion because Biden knew day one, 4 years ago, that he couldn't run for a second term. and he didn't believe in Kamala Harris, and he waited to the last minute to say, I'm not gonna be able to take the nominee. I'm just gonna just drop out. I won't read.
To piggyback on what you just said, before Joe Biden dropped out the election, it was already floating in the media that the Democratic Party didn't have faith in Kamala Harris.
Absolutely.
And they didn't want to endorse her. They didn't want to endorse it. And so you got to think about, she got to deal with that shit too. The fact that even though she's in a position to supersede the president in case, he can't serve his duties in the office, she's supposed to be the next person up. But even the Democratic Party was like, we gonna go through a whole nother process before we let her in there. And then they had to go back to the drawing table and think about that shit. Like, that's gonna take even more time off that we have to prepare for November. So we just gotta roll with what we gotta roll with, and that's what they're doing now. Is it enough time? Who knows? But I know she got a lot of work to do, and Trump gonna go for the throat, man. Everything she did is documented, Wally. Facts. We can't even lie about the shit she did because it's documented. You get what I mean?
Absolutely.
You can't even go back and twist this shit up because it's documented, and that's her downfall. Even all the little shit Joe Biden did and all the racist shit and the people he was with, they did a good job of scrubbing that shit from the media. Well, we in the age right now in the world, like, all them receipts coming up now, bro. So,
and
you know what I mean?
A lot of people in the Democratic Party don't want nothing black. They're very racist. The donors have said, we want Gavin Newsom from California. They want somebody white. But they're kind of shifted because all the millions that was given to Biden and Kamala, they can't touch that money because it went towards Biden and Kamala. It's against the law to grab that money. So now, like you said, they just, okay, we just with Kamala, but behind the scenes, they're not with her. Do you think President Obama got to come out and endorse Kamala Harris, that she need President Obama and Michelle Obama endorsement?
Oh, man. I'll put it to you like this. In order for this to work and succeed, everybody and anybody that's a person of color is going to have to come out and have her back, for better or for worse. Because you got to realize, man, this is what we're witnessing right now. While we're witnessing history in the making. This is the shift to where this could be potentially the shift to where the African American vote switched over to Republican. We can say 2024 was the year that everything switched, and we no longer gave the Democratic ticket our vote. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
As a community, and so you got to think about it like that. If that were to happen, just hypothetically, if that were to happen, I don't think you'll see a Democratic president enough for a long time, brother.
I agree. I believe that, and
this is their last stand. That's what I believe. This is their last stand.
I believe that, and they put that faith in an old man and Joe Biden. And actually, what I've learned, that President Biden was talked out to run in 2016 by President Obama, and he wanted Hillary to run. And white women did not vote for Hillary Clinton. Do you think white women will vote for Kamala Harris? Because they didn't vote for Hillary.
Nope. I'm gonna tell you why. This is, and a lot of people have this part of the game like all the way fucked up. Excuse my French, but this is why people have it all the way messed up. Because at the end of the day, I don't care what a white woman says when it comes to politics. Because you know why? A white woman is always gonna follow a white man, and I'm just being real with you. They the ones who stood by when niggas was getting lynched, hung, burnt, and all that shit, and stood by them men. They didn't stand by no woman. They stood by a man who was doing that. And they stood by men who were doing it. And so, inherently, white women don't use white tears on white women. White women use white tears on white men, bro. I'm gonna say it like that. And that's why Hillary didn't get the vote a white woman would rather vote for a white man than a white woman. Facts.
Mm.
And a lot of white people don't want to hear it and don't want to say it like that, but that's what it is, because the proof was in the pudding. All the white women that said they was voting for Hillary did a turncoat at the polls. Am I right or wrong?
No, you're right. They definitely voted for Trump.
so it's like the for me, that whole argument is like the WNBA and the NBA argument. And then everybody asks, well, why the WNBA shouldn't be paid more, or they should make more equal to the men. There's 2 times as many women in the world as men. You don't cater the sport to it's a woman's sport, and you don't cater to women. You don't cater to. I don't see no WNBA commercials doing the soap opera hours. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When women, housewives are cooking and cleaning and doing. I don't think you see this Dawn and Palmolive commercials and shit. You don't see no WNBA commercials telling these ladies to take their daughters to this and that. They don't promote it to women. And so it's just like that. Like at the end of the day, the white woman gonna choose a white man over a white woman any day. And the history has proved that always. And that's never gonna change. If black people expect white people to save them, this election, this is the wrong election for that, brother. Ain't no white women coming to Camilla's aid. Brothers and sisters gonna have to do that. If not, it's gonna be Trump, and that's just the bottom line.
Mm. Do you think Trump is gonna win in a debate? Do you think that Kamala got to bring it if they do a debate? Trump and Kamala.
It's gonna be a massacre, bro. It's gonna be a massacre. And they licking their chops. They licking their lips like, man, we finna eat big. Man, we finna eat greedy. We finna eat buffet style. Because like at the end of the day, when he started bringing up her record, what does she do? How does she rebut that? What is her rebuttal to that? You was what? And these guys were potentially free. Then they would have exonerated all these men. And you said the state don't got $15 to waste on a test for these bombs.
Mm.
And so you let them rot in jail when you knew they was innocent. Like a lot of things like that, bro. She gonna have to answer to her infidelities when she was in office, and it's a lot of things as a woman you don't want to talk about in front of other women if you're trying to be a leader. They don't want to hear how promiscuous you was and how you fucked your way up. You're supposed to be the woman, the leader of the free world. We don't want to hear that shit about you. You get what I'm saying?
But a lot of times people will say, when men had sex, why is it a double standard on women? Do you want to ask?
It's a double standard. It is a double standard on women because the men who created this system made it that way. I'm going to say that again. It's because the men who created this system made it that way. Remember, they gave black people the right to vote before women, including white women. Think about that.
Mm.
So no matter what we say about it, this is not a race thing, what we're talking about right now. This is not a race thing. This is at the end of the day, women are the bottom of the totem pole for the people who created this system. Because remember, women got all their rights absolutely last, and they still, without a lot of rights in the workplace and other places. But men, specifically white men, created all this shit. It ain't us. This is not a black or white thing. No, this is the guys and the people who created this system made it in such a way with the legislation and all the things they wrote into law to hold women and colored people in bondage. So when it comes to a woman, she's a little bit lower than a colored person to these white men. Because they'd rather give a black men the right to vote than a white woman. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So,
I did a poll here, and I was asking people who they vote for, and out of 49, and it was only 49 people that voted. They said 35% said they will vote for Donald Trump. 65% said Kamala Harris. And I've also put the poll on the community wall. Now, this one is where more people will vote on, and I just put it up there. Let me see here. On that, it's a 44% said Donald Trump, Kamala Harris 56%. Now, mind you, I just put the poll up 27 minutes ago, and we're going to see where do people stand on there. But this is going to be a very close, but it could also be a landslide, because CNN is predicting a landslide. And that was with Donald Trump versus, Joe Biden. And I can really believe that it's going to be a sweep with Kamala Harris on the ticket, because he's going to destroy her. She's not strong with foreign policy. When she did lead the border, she did a terrible job when they put her in charge of the border. Republicans got a lot of stuff that they use and that they're going to use. The invasion of the migrants. They're in New York. They're in Chicago. They're in some parts of California. And a lot of those Democratic voters, you said something, this could be the shift between the black support from Democrat to Republican. This could go down in history. Now, mind you, black folks have been voting Democrat for the last 50 some odd years.
And before, remember, before that, we had more, I want to say, Republican values. In the 40s and the 50s, when we were flourishing, we had more bachelor's degrees than the average white man. The black man had bachelor's degrees, were highly more educated, had better paying jobs, all that kind of stuff. And then when they did the civil rights stuff, then that's when they issued in that. And so from the civil rights going forward, they've had our vote, but little or nothing has changed. You get what I'm saying? On paper. I'm not talking about the little laws and little shit they passed. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about actual legislation that helps the community as a collective. There hasn't been anything.
Wow. Don, thank you for giving your input. I'm voting for Trump in November. I think I urge every black person to vote for Trump. And that's the only how black people are being able to get something, is that now our votes are not predictable. Our votes, we're just unpredictable.
There you go.
They will have to do something to keep us with them. So Democrats, they got to do a lot. I mean, Kamala needs to get Biden to pass to legalize marijuana. They got to take some bold steps while he's still the president. And
hey, Wally, don't forget. Remember, I told you and I told your audience about 2 months ago. Remember with the rental income. Remember, I told you they're gonna put the mandatory minimums on rental.
Yeah.
And make all the rentals more affordable. Remember, I told you they holding that legislation in their back pocket. Watch out for that.
Yeah. And I don't think that will pass, because the Republicans not going to pass it. It's the Republican House. They're not going to give President Biden a win. This is an election. He's a lame duck now. So they're not doing anything to help President Biden. They're not even helping Chicago get money for the migrant crisis, because why should they? This is a political season, and you're not going to help the problem. You're just going to sit on the sidelines and watch the Democrats crumble. And they're crumbling right now, because now Biden is not even strong enough to even help Kamala Harris, to campaign for Kamala Harris, because he's not well. He's not well. He was sick then. He's just sicker, and he's very elderly. You can tell he's frail. He can't walk up the stairs. I don't believe he got COVID. I just believe they just said it just for him to just be in the basement and eat ice cream, to be around his dogs. He can't run this country. He can't do anything but just sit down and be on the sideline. He's not even tweeting. That's his staff putting that all together. He can't even tweet. He can't do that. Now, Trump is still running his phone and still, putting out messages, and you can tell it's in the Trump tone. He's campaigning. I mean, his rally he just had was packed. It was packed to capacity, and so the momentum is with Trump. And Democrats, they're worried because they putting all their faith in Kamala Harris, and they know it's a losing battle. They know it's but in order to save face, they got to put all in there. So you're saying that the black people all got to come together. So you're saying that she needs that Obama type of support, that 08 type of support.
Man, she needs Obama. She needs the churches. She needs the celebrities. It's gonna take in order for what I'm saying is, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. I think a lot of brothers and sisters' mind has already been made up, regardless of what happened with Kamala Harris. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, it could help buffer. It could help buffer the results a little bit more, and make it a competitive race, so to speak, if all these people stepped up. But I doubt if she get that support. You get what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Like, even when they do these, like when Puff Daddy was doing vote or die campaigns and all that kind of stuff, bro, those are campaigns that lasted a year or 2 years. You get what I'm saying? Those are long campaigns for, you know what I'm saying? And there was a lot of money being expended, a lot of resources being spent, because you saw that shit on down there every urban television network. You know what I mean? As a commercial during all the urban shows. You know what I mean? Vote or die. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and that was a campaign that was for Obama. You remember that?
Absolutely.
And so, I mean, it's gonna take one of them kind of efforts, and everybody gonna have to jump on that bandwagon and ride that bandwagon in order for her to succeed. But I just don't think it's enough time for her to do anything. I mean, she just like Joe Biden, bro. She's just a lame duck in this. She just kind of just a placeholder until the elections are over.
Thank you so very much, Don, for coming on. Thank you for giving your thoughts.
No problem, buddy.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to play this other clip, you guys, that we got from Fox News. Wow, Don definitely came on for that. That is something. Don definitely, wow. The Democrats are mad right now. They're mad. Okay, I'm going to play this clip that Fox just released, and we're going to go to our other topic here after this clip.
Now I'd like to bring in my colleague, senior congressional correspondent Chad Pergram. Chad, your reaction to this earthquake in American politics, and what are you picking up from top lawmakers on the Hill?
Well, I was told the morning after the debate by a senior House Democratic source, and the quote was, "This was unsustainable." And they thought that the president had not been served very well by people around him, and just didn't think that this was going to last very much longer, depending on how long you look here. I think it is significant that the president now has just endorsed Vice President Harris, because there are a lot of people on Capitol Hill, especially the Congressional Black Caucus, who will be okay with that. To have some sort of wide open process or something like that was going to be extremely messy. This is messy enough as it is. People kept talking about the concept of having a brokered convention. I pointed out to people that it wouldn't necessarily be a brokered convention, but it would be a convention. The idea that, these delegates, these people who have, voted for President Biden and Harris and the primaries here, those delegates are pledged to them, but not bound to them until they have that roll call vote. Supposed to be an electronic roll call vote in early August. That'll probably change in some form now, depending on what happens, or some people will probably push for the convention. The other thing that I noticed here is that very quickly we were starting to get statements, Mike, from vulnerable Democrats. Kim Schreier, who's a Democrat from Washington State, Tammy Baldwin, who's a Democratic senator in Wisconsin. That's a battleground state there. And immediately, endorsing what President Biden has done here, because, things were not going to look good for people who represent districts in states like that down ballot. Now you have what's going on the Republican side of the aisle. And this is really significant here, where you're starting to have people like Elise Stefanik, the Republican conference chair, Richard Hudson, the chair of the NRCC from North Carolina. Immediately, and we knew that this was going to happen, they're starting to say, look, if the president cannot run for re-election, then he ought to step down. How is he fit to serve?
Right.
And, we're going to have inquiries this week, Mike, into the shooting of former President Trump. There might be inquiries into this as to what the health of the president might be.
Chad, I covered former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi day in and day out with you for a decade. You've covered her for several decades. What about her role in terms of trying to convince President Biden it was time for a change, and basically trying to protect her Democratic members?
Yeah, that was something that she was really worried about. And it was obvious, just not from Pelosi, but others who had a hand in this, that they had to address what was going to happen down ballot. And the idea was to start with a gentle push, and then it started to be more of a wave, and then it started to be a tidal wave, and then it was getting to maybe a tsunami. In fact, I think that we were probably going to have some of this last week had it not been for the shooting a week ago. It was a week ago Saturday that Chuck Schumer went to Rehoboth, did not announce this, and met with President Biden. And that statement, that just the fact that he had met, it came out seconds before the shooting. And so any conversation about this was kind of put off for about a week. And we've just gotten a statement here, Mike, from the majority leader in the Senate, Chuck Schumer. He says Joe Biden has not only been a great president and a great legislative leader, but a truly amazing human being. Joe, today shows you are a great patriot and a great American. And, Democrats just saw no upside. And again, this was the amazing thing for weeks now on Capitol Hill since that debate. There was that meeting over at the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee a week ago Thursday, where all the Democrats I talked to, nobody really wanted to say much. And they were saying, well, it's his decision and things like this. But we didn't get the sense from anybody that they were, I shouldn't say anybody, but very, very few, that they were really full bore behind Joe Biden, or they were doing it with a caveat. And that's where 2 weeks ago we had this conference call among House Democrats where many of them were starting to say very frank things and throw him under the bus and say, in the words of Don Beyer, he was feeble and they liked him, but he couldn't put two sentences together. Information from that leaked out, and then members had to dial it back because it was obvious this wasn't going as quickly as they thought it could go, Mike.
Chad, understandably, there's intense focus on the race for the White House, but the building you cover day in and day out, a third of the Senate is up for re-election with a tough map for Democrats, and the entire House of Representatives is on the ballot. So what about the balance of power? If we're looking at former President Trump returning to the White House, potentially, we'll see what the voters decide. But what about perhaps the argument from senior Democrats, which I've heard about being a check on a Trump presidency? What about that?
Yeah, that's something that they were very concerned about, losing, all three, the House, the Senate, and the White House. Holding the Senate is a tough battle to start with. That's going to be very challenging for the Democrats, no matter what. And that's why you had people like Sherrod Brown and John Tester coming out. Brown just Friday, but Tester a little bit earlier, saying, look, it's time for you to step aside, Mr. President. The House, they always thought that was within range, certainly because it was a narrow majority, but also because you had, they didn't think that the Republicans in the House were in utter turmoil at times. So they had trouble passing defense bills. They burned through two speakers, couldn't elect multiple people as speaker, trying all sorts of resolutions all the time. Democrats would always point to the loudest people in the room, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert.
And this is why the Democrats should be very worried, because the House is up for grabs. The Republicans, the Republicans, they're at a great position as a party. Trump is on his A game. The VP nominee, Senator Vance, on his A game. The Speaker of the House is on his A game. The people in the Senate, the Republican senators on their A game, the Republican governors around the country is on their A game. They are unified. And when you're running for office, and this is a very presidential election, you got to be together. The Democrats, they're scrambling to get together. And because they threw the President Biden under the bus and they made Kamala Harris, they didn't want Kamala Harris, but because Black people revolt and came out with a letter, an open letter, hundreds of Black women came out and said, hey, you must support Kamala Harris. So the Democrats, and then also the Congressional Black Caucus was like, hey, we're going to raise hell if you don't pick Kamala Harris. So this whole idea was just a civil war is going to break within the Democratic Party. And still, you may have some donors in the Democratic Party that will put money behind another candidate and say, hey, the delegates, you should go after those delegates. So it's all about the money. It's all about the money. Money is in politics. We're going to see how this is going to turn out. But it's going to be very messy. Just buckle your seatbelts. It's going to be very messy.
You get the idea here. And so they're like, if we can't beat that, then, we're not doing anything right at all. And so that's where I think that this was kind of a salvaging process here. Now, does this salvage thing? That's the question that people just don't know. Does it help? And, keep in mind that Democrats have been tarred by this for a while now, that you've had Republicans, I remember this early on when they started to talk about the border crisis. They said, they had appointed Vice President Harris as the border czar, and they had criticized and they had developed a library of information against her, saying she's not doing very good with the border. That is one of the primary 4 to 5 issues on the ballot this fall. And if Republicans can turn that around and say, well, you thought it was bad with Biden, it's really not going to be much better with the border czar, Vice President Harris. That's something that Democrats, are very vulnerable on. Republicans can use against them. And one other thing that's going to be very, very important here, Mike, is who is she going to pick if she's in fact the one as her running mate? Is it going to be a moderate? Is it going to be somebody like Andy Beshear? Someone had put to me earlier today, maybe someone like Tim Ryan, the former congressman who lost to J.D. Vance from Northeast Ohio and would match up very well with him on the stage there. Is that where maybe this is where maybe House and Senate Democrats weigh in more if the torch is in fact passed, fairly seamlessly to Vice President Harris? And I'm not saying that that's going to, be a done deal either here. That's something to look for if they have more of a say in who that person is. Is it Gretchen Whitmer? Do they want somebody from the Midwest? If it's going to be a woman, do they have to have a man? Do they want to have 2 minorities on the ticket? There's a million different ways to spin this right now.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.
And there you go, right then and there. We want to make it perfectly clear here. We 1,000% stand with President Trump. Kamala Harris is very weak on foreign policy. She's very weak on being a vice president. She's one of the worst vice president ever because she could have implemented the 25th Amendment and got to set down President Biden. She know that President Biden was not well. She continued with the lie. She continued to pretend like President Biden is running this country and doing great. She have, advised, President Biden to surpass, to not go to Congress, to even cancel student loan debt. How can you not work with Congress? And the Supreme Court came up and said, hey, you can't cancel debt without the approval of Congress. So this Kamala Harris have been just a failure all around. And also we have to talk about how she spent most of her time at Beyonce concerts instead of running this country, instead of helping this to make this country great. Under the Democrats, the country have failed economically. We are no longer the power that we have been for the last decades. Under Trump, we had a sense of force. It was a power. If you look at any of the President Xi and President Putin and President, even the president of North Korea, they have all respected Trump and not did anything, misbehaved, and they really stayed in line because President Trump really showed the world that he was the most powerful person on the planet. He did not just wear that, he lived it, he walked it, he really expressed that. And so we are seeing this play out on the stage here. And like I put out a poll here, and I put this poll out, and give me one particular second here. I put a poll out, and I'm asking you all, who are you voting for in November? So of course, we are asking you all to give your thoughts here. Because we are asking who are you voting for? And of course, we have so many people that are giving their thoughts. Let me go to the, let me actually go here and see where y'all voting at. 68% said they're going to give it to Kamala Harris. 32% said Donald Trump. And of course, we're going to go on the community wall here and to see exactly where we at on the community wall, where the people are actually voting at on the community wall here. And 63% saying Kamala Harris and 38% saying Donald Trump. So make sure y'all vote. Okay, vote. All right, now I want to get into this whole situation with Charles and Miss Netta. Okay, wait a minute. We have somebody here that want to call in. Give me a second. Wait a minute. Somebody said call me. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. We are live. 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 Hello. Hello, y'all. Hey, I'm live. You want to say something?
What's up, Poppy? I was trying to say that it's so loud in the background. I'm on the train at work, but with Kamala out here in the Bay Area, when she was district attorney, she prosecuted so many Black men illegally that they were able to go back to court and win lawsuits. And there's multiple men in San Francisco walking around right now as lawyers because of her.
Wow.
Because they were able to sue the district attorney, they were able to sue and win. If you look it up, you'll see. There's multiple Black men in San Francisco walking around who won lawsuits against the state because they got prosecuted illegally when she was district attorney. She prosecuted so many Black men illegally. That's why we don't fuck with her. And she's a whore, but I mean, besides that.
Wow. So you're not supporting her at all?
I don't know. No, thank you. Like he said, she's not going to look out for the interest of Blacks at all. And she did all that just to be a, you know what, a coon. She did all that to get favor of white people.
Wow. Thank you so very much.
That's not, we don't want to have her sit there. She cool where she at as vice president with Sleepy Joe. But if she's in charge, it might be really bad.
And you're not supporting her at all?
Yeah, she'll probably give us a few things, but she's going to be a yes man.
Wow.
No.
You know, saying her Prada said in the chat, her own state doesn't support her. She's a joke.
Yeah, and she's Black, and I'm a very, pro-Black woman. If it was somebody like Sister Soldier, this ain't no Sister Soldier. This is somebody who is, she's going to be like a minstrel show. I don't know. It's a joke. It's a joke. She's gonna swing her hair while she runs, do a little dance, and it's gonna be a real key. It's gonna be worse than Obama.
Wow, this is something. Thank you so much for giving your thought.
I'll call back later. I just wanted to chime in real quick.
Oh no, thank you for chiming in.
That if you, they say they want anybody over Trump, but that ain't gonna be it, baby. I'd rather take Kanye, his nut ass, over Kamala, anybody.
I heard that. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah. All right. Love y'all.
All right. Love you. Hey, you live on the Wiley Show.
Hey, Wiley, how you doing today?
Doing well.
That's wonderful to hear. So I am legitimately concerned about this. I sent you over a list because what's been going on is the Democrats have been sending around like this list of things that Joe Biden and Kamala did for Blacks while they were, these last 4 years. And my concern is we can't say the same thing about Trump. And I legitimately don't feel like, just as a Black woman, I don't necessarily just want to vote for Kamala because I'm a Jamaican American as well. I'm not relating to her on those levels. I don't want to vote for her for those reasons. But what I am concerned about is Trump didn't do as much for Blacks while he was in office. And if this is his second term, and he can pretty much do whatever he wants this second time around, are Black people going to be a priority? Some of the things that they did for Blacks, I sent you a real long list. I didn't mean to send it to you, but it's an important list. There are things that they did do to help us, but they also combated a lot of that with the migrant issues as well. So You get where I'm going? Where do you kind of stand? How do you feel? Do you
I,
feel
I,
like
I get where you're going here, but I also would like to add that Democrats is a major failure of of Black folk. They've been failing Black folks for decades. This is nothing new. A lot of folks have been saying, widely, I don't get the support. Even Black men have even said they don't get the support for the Democratic Party. So I believe that Trump is the Messiah for Black folks, is the one that Black folks have been praying for. And there have been many Black people that have came and said that we should stop putting all of our support with these Democrats when they've not been doing anything for us. So I believe it is time that we give it to someone else and take it to, and not just give it to them when we do vote for them, but make sure that we get things from the Republicans. And in order for that to happen, we have to be more vocal. Let's be clear. The economy, the stimulus check, Black folks have already been talking about Trump wins from day one. Sexy Red said something about the stimulus check. Glorilla said something about the stimulus check. Ms. Netta said something about the stimulus check. They still remember that, how economically they were in a better position with Trump in office versus President Biden. So we have to, that's something that we have to, as Black folks, have to really look at. We were doing better. I mean, chicken wings were cheaper under Trump than it was under Biden. Like, that's something that we have to focus on. I mean, you as a Black woman, you're not going to vote for Kamala Harris, or you're voting for Trump, like, because you only have two choices.
No, I'm definitely not going to vote Democratic this year. I mean, let's just say that, because I do agree with your point. Economically, I think he's going to position everybody in a better position. If you are a go-getter, if you are a business owner like yourself, if you are someone that wants to really get out there and do the work that's required of you to position yourself in America the right way. It's the old way with Trump. It's make America great again, just as he said. I mean, that's what I feel like we're going to see. I think he's going to position everybody, in that same, economically, we're going to be in a better position. I listened to his whole speech at the RNC. I listened to it from beginning to end. I listened to a lot of the other Republicans as well. I do think there are some things that were said that we should be concerned about. I don't think he's going to put a magnifying glass on Blacks specifically in his second term. I think if he would have got picked back to back, probably so. This time around, I don't think he's going to make it about us unless we start saying what it is we want. And now is the time to start saying exactly what it is we want. And it can't just be stimulus checks. The Republicans ain't going for that. We gotta say, what do we want? What do we want? And you'll have our vote if we know if you give us this. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Unless we do that, I don't think we're gonna see Republicans really just trying to make sure Blacks are taken care of. But I'm gonna vote for them regardless, because I'm not seeing it on the other side. And I definitely don't want to go through another 4 years like this. Definitely not.
Well, we thank you so very much for calling in. And like I said, Democrats are scrambling because this is a sign. The Democrats are, as a Black woman, that is the Democrats' backbone is Black women. So if Black women are saying this, Democrats, they had 4 years. They had years to really lock in that Black support and show us love and show us. They have not shown that. The economically, that we've forgotten about. Black jobs are going to migrants, and Trump his messages is getting to Black people. I saw it on last year when I went to Mayor Johnson inauguration, and I was there at City Hall in Chicago, and people were screaming Trump because they saw that the migrants were taking their resources. And so, and then you see the leadership there in Chicago getting haircuts, don't care nothing about the issue, but worried about getting a line in. That's why it's so important for us to vote for Trump in November. That's the only way for Democrats to act better. And that's the only way for Republicans to really continue to do for blacks when you don't know if you want to keep that support. So this is
so really what you're saying is make sure that we vote Republican to show the Democrats that we mean business and we're never going
to both. That sends a sign to both parties, because that you will have to compete for that vote by doing so. And so, because Trump have already started it by the economic message, everybody go back to the stimulus check, they go back economically, we were better. So Black folks remember that with Trump, and Trump have done an amazing job reminding blacks, the Black community, about that. And Democrats have been doing a bad job. What did he mean by a black job? He's talking about black jobs that have gone to migrants. We know Black people with black jobs know what Trump is talking about. It's just not working with Trump being a racist. That's not working this cycle. And I think Democrats are trying their best to say he's a threat to democracy. How? When he took a bullet. So that right then and there debunks that whole threat to democracy when he almost was taken out. So, I mean, that all these old tactics that the Democrats have been using against white conservatives, they're racist. It's just not sticking for Trump. It's not sticking. And that's Democrats should be very worried, because they put all their support. They wanted a white man, they wanted Joe Biden, and Joe Biden wanted ice cream. He barely can get up the stairs. He's old and frail. And now all of the national spotlight is going to be Kamala Harris. Let's be clear. She lost when she ran against Biden. She did not win the Democratic nomination.
Now, since you said that, and since we're putting a magnifying glass on the woman vote as well, how do you feel about them bringing in Hillary to get the woman vote, to get the feminist vote, to get the backing of the country that way?
It's not going to work, because they didn't vote for her when she ran. They didn't support Hillary. If the feminist movement, if the women that she really loved, them white women, she would have been the president. They didn't even vote for Hillary. Hillary is very, and if they use Hillary, that's going to re-energize Trump base even more. Lock her up, those emails. The Republicans can't stand Hillary Clinton, and they do a great job destroying Hillary, to the point Hillary lost bad at the election. And she was under investigation with the FBI because of her emails and because of all her criminal behavior. And then it brings up her husband, about all the women that he violated in Arkansas. So they can't, and that's the one person that she's going to need is Michelle Obama. She's going to need Michelle. But Michelle is more popular than Hillary in the Democratic Party. She's going to have.
But that would be two criminals. That would be two criminals running against each other. Trump's case just got dropped.
Well, I don't necessarily. I believe those are false charges, and it's not even working, because that was a strategy that Democrats tried to use against Trump. We're going to lock him up. That was the plan. So Biden could just get through this because his opponent is in prison. But they wasn't banking on them. Judge was like, hold up. We ain't with these charges. It's not making sense. And when the Supreme Court put a wrench and they plan to be like, wait, you cannot charge a president and convict the president of what he was doing while he was in office. So when they pretty much put out that plan, all the checks that he signed, the Supreme Court said, well, he signed it as president, you can't criminalize him. Really giving the presidential office more power. So right then and there, they knew, okay, Biden got to go, because now then when Biden went on that debate stage, he was banking on, indictments. But when he starts speaking, when he starts talking, he sounded like an old man, senile. He wasn't there. He couldn't even put a full sentence together. And that, to them Democrats, to the donors, to President Obama, everybody was like, what the F? Because his team setting them up for failure. What they should have did before that debate, he should have dropped out then, gave it to Kamala. Kamala get on that debate stage.
Mm-hmm.
But what they did was, because Biden and his family, his wife, they're so stubborn, they did not want to give it to a black woman. And this is something the Democratic Party got to realize, and black folks got to answer this. They did not want to give it to Kamala. Kamala knew from day one she played her cards right. Back in January of this year, they should have gave it to Kamala. But because the donors, they said, no, we don't want Kamala. So Joe Biden was like, I can't surpass Kamala because you need black women. Because Kamala has something, she got the black women behind her that know how to write them op-eds, that, you know what I'm saying, that know how to talk in media. So you can't, because that's how she got the position in the first place. Because the black women stood up and said, you must have a black woman on the ticket. That's how they got Ketanji Brown on the Supreme Court, because he had to give black women more. And because of the credit of black women, of how organized they are in the Democratic Party, they got something from the deal. They didn't really get nothing economically. They got more representation. But now that Joe Biden, now these white donors like, oh, we don't want Kamala, we want Gavin Newsom. And it forced Gavin Newsom to like, hey, I'm not going to run against Kamala Harris. But that you saying that now. But now that Biden has stepped aside, the donors, it's up to the delegates. It's up to the delegates. And if a donor come and say, I want Pete Buttigieg, I'm going to give you $80 million. You got bread to go against, and it could be a whole catastrophe. And Republican, and the more division that the Democrats have, the more it wins for the Republicans, because the Republican National Convention it was on point. It was smooth sailing. The Democrat, we don't know if a new candidate gonna come up and say, hey, anything can go down at the DNC. They know it. And so we got to see what President Obama, who he gonna support, who Bill Clinton gonna support, who Michelle Obama gonna support, Oprah Winfrey, all of these mega superstars of the Democratic Party, where they're gonna put their support. Because like right now, it's either you got to, because the way that Republicans, Elon Musk, Hulk Hogan, I mean, just billionaires, because once he survived that assassination attempt, he got boost up support within the black community, more billionaires supporting President Trump. Even the world, like, hey, we want Trump in there, because the way how he handled that, it was iconic. He's going down in history. And now, and then on tomorrow, we'll be covering on the Wiley Show that the Secret Service, they're scrutinized. They want the head of the Secret Service to resign. So now Kamala Harris, if this will tell me what kind of president you are, she got to tell Joe Biden, we got to fire this lady, because that's a scandal. It's turned into a scandal. And if they're not careful, it will look like that, hey, you wanted him to get locked up not to win, or y'all saying y'all wanted to say. So it's almost, if not, a scandal with the Secret Service. And this is going to harm Kamala Harris. And Kamala Harris got to put a middle-aged white man in the Secret Service. She got to do it now. And that would debunk that lady, because she's a woman, she talking back, she talking nasty. She already said, oh, it's because of the roof, and they didn't try, like, you're doing too much. And then you already got the local police agencies back in that area saying, no, we was doing traffic duty. So, and then on Monday, we got more information that's going to come out. So this is bad on Kamala, because Joe Biden, if this will tell me if he really wants Kamala to succeed, or because he still have the power of the pulpit. He can still give her wins and help her. Let's see. And we're going to see if he's really racist, if he really loves black folks, because if he really give Kamala Harris the bully pulpit, he got to give it to Kamala. Kamala got to look like she's the president already. He's going to have her talk to NATO, talk to people with boots on the ground. He's really going to have to allow her to address the nation. If I was Joe Biden, I would go on mute and boost up Kamala. That's the only way it's going to make people look at it that she's presidential. She's going to have to address the nation.
That's true. That's the first time I heard that point, and you making a really,
Because
really
he just
strong point.
remains sick, remain that he's not well. That's the only way it's going to work. Because if you put her like she's second fiddle, whatever, like a placeholder, that's how America's going to treat her. She got to, you got to give it, you got to give her the keys of it. He's going to have to, and Democrats.
And let's watch her from now all the way
up. We have to see her as the president, and he's going to have to do it because he is sick. I mean, it's not like it's a lie. You know, everybody know this. If you don't know, President Biden got dementia. You know he
dementia. Yeah.
Everybody keeps saying he's confused. You might as well give it all to Kamala. I know it'll be a crisis to remove him, but just say he's sick, say he's in the hospital, and let Kamala just take over as president. I personally will. He can do this. I mean, President Bush gave his VP, I think he was the president for a couple of hours while President Bush went to some type of surgery. I think they need to implement the 25th Amendment. That's the only strategy that was locked in the support, and it will show to her with other nations of the world that this is President Harris, and it will be a good look for America. But that's only if and when she become president, if she becomes these last couple of months, she's got to make some bold steps, legalizing marijuana. It's got to be something, because in order to get black people, because Trump got the stimulus checks, Trump survived the assassination, Kamala Harris got to give her base some tangible stuff, and it got to be quick. And legalizing marijuana, getting people out of jail, she's gonna have to get people to all them marijuana stuff. She got to let them go. But also, Republicans gonna say you let go criminals. So it's gonna be a war, and it's gonna see how can she handle this. Kamala Harris did a good job being in the back, but now she's in the spotlight, and we never focus on her like that because they didn't care. But now she's the leader, and it's gonna be a lot of dirt that's gonna come up. And they're going to bring up her dirty laundry. And because she screwed her way to the top, no different than Miss Willis there. Remember when she screwed the prosecutor? How they brought up how she had this and how she had that? They really scrutinized her bedroom. You got to understand, when you are a woman and of power, they're going to that's a weakness for women, like your yoni, your private part. They're going to bring that up because she's bringing up a private part about reproductive rights. And the Republicans say you care about reproductive rights, but you weren't even faithful to your husband, or you was horn around. It's gonna be like Don said. It's gonna be nasty. It's gonna be a very nasty campaign because Kamala she got the black. She's a woman, and they're gonna come at her because if they came for Hillary, a white woman, what the hell you think they're gonna do to Kamala Harris?
Yeah, you're right. But we need to go ahead and get it over with. And the Democratic Party needs to show the grace and, like you said, their Americanism, their patriotism.
They're going to have to.
They need to show how they can come together.
Absolutely. If they're saying that Trump is racist, well, they can't be out here throwing Kamala under the bus because she's a black woman. See, the Democrats have for years have been just showing and pointing their fingers at Republican race, and they have been the most racist that they can be. With it, I've known black Democrats, black pollsters, black people that work on campaigns saying how they're not being paid fairly and how white people are getting all this money and how they have to suffer for scraps. Black-owned media like Roland Martin not getting their fair share for the Democratic Party. So if Democrats really want to show, and especially Kamala Harris, because you're going to have a lot of black folks that have been hungry for money and they've been starving from the process because billions of dollars being spent and how much our black people are getting. So Kamala really got to treat her base, and I'm talking about the black, because you need the black community. They got to come out in history making. It got to be like Obama 08 numbers. It got to be that inspiration. She ain't never claimed to be a black woman. She got to claim it because you can't come in there and say, I'm an Indian, I'm a Jamaican. They got to cater that she's the black as black can be. So because that's only how it's going to work, because you will inspire black girls, no different than when we was inspired to vote for President Obama. Oh my gosh, but just the feeling of it, it made me feel like, oh my gosh, I could be in there. Representation do matter. But when he got it, he was a disaster. He didn't do anything. But I still was inspired for him not to do nothing. But it was the inspiration. So they're going to have to inspire black girls, especially girls that are 18 years old. She got to get that youth. And she's going to have to negotiate, which is not going to happen because Netanyahu ain't going to pick up her phone calls because that whole thing that's going on with Gaza. That's a disaster right there. And a lot of the young voters not voting for Biden because, or now, let's just say Harris, because of what's going on. And even what Harris said, they all taking Israel side. And them young folks like, oh no, oh my God. And so again, then Trump can say, and which he have always said, when I was president, this wasn't going on. And he was right. Gaza, Hamas did not invade Israel. And Israel did not go into Gaza. It was a peace under Trump. And that is something that Democrats have to deal, and that's something that Trump can campaign on. And he can say, when I become president, he will sit Hamas, he will sit the Palestinian people down with the Jewish people of Israel, and they will negotiate and broker a peace deal. Trump he's known of broking as a businessman, what's good for business. And Democrats, if they were good for it, they would have been did it. Netanyahu don't give a damn about President Biden. He know President Biden was sick in the head, and Israel. Usually, I thought America was so powerful. Say, hey, sit down, Israel. But Israel was like, F you. We're gonna defend our territory. And Hillary Clinton even had the side of Israel. So Democrats still got that one issue that is going to harm them in November. And even when Don said, when President Biden put those troops on those college campuses and really was locking up those students, that's bad for Democrats because you're going to need college students. They are the future of America. And if they go with Trump, and if Trump do a good job, in which he have been showing that he's going to do, and really going on college campus and get those voters to vote for him, it's a wrap for Kamala. And she can't depend on Hillary because they're going to say lock her up. Well, how can you depend on Hillary when Hillary, they're going to say lock her up? They said chances of winning here, they say 61.3%, and Kamala Harris is at 29.8%, Gavin Newsom 2.9%, Michelle Obama 2.3%, Hillary Clinton 1.5%. So right then and there, what you just sent me says is President Trump is in the lead.
Yeah, showing you that you're right on point. I'm just looking at everything you're saying, and I'm looking at the numbers, and
it's too late. Trump is too powerful. He's too loud. He's too entertaining. And Kamala Harris still got out that fake. It was shocked me. I'm still sitting on the sideline and be like, how they gonna handle Kamala Harris? How they gonna allow her to be? Because when she went out for that ice cream, it was cringy. It was pandering. She had she don't have any children. I believe those are her nieces. And you see Tyra Banks there. She's one of the worst women ever. Look how she treated those women on America's Next Top Model. None of them became millionaires. She treated the women nasty. So this is bad on Kamala. We will see. We will see because I put the poll out here, and obviously this is a pro-Democrat platform with the audience members. They vote, most of them vote Democrat, but they are saying 68% saying Kamala Harris. Most of the women that watch my show are Black women. Most of the audience are Black women, so I'm not surprised by this poll.
Yeah. Looks like all the Democrats are coming out on Twitter too, trying to make sure that they, give their condolences and say that Biden is a patriot. He is a man who's always working to unite America. He stands for dignity and the well-being of all Americans.
Because they have to, because they can't. They were successful getting Biden out. They can't bicker and fight because the Republicans is not fighting. The Republicans are together. I'm talking about all the Trump political ops that came against them. They all stepped in line. They all gave their loyalty to Trump.
Wally, can I ask you one more question? What did you think the day that Elon Musk endorsed Trump?
I think that was a very powerful move because that even showed you, even the people that Trump criticized, and he criticized Elon Musk. Elon Musk saw the survival. He saw something. I'm gonna say this. I gotta be careful how I word this. He saw something on that stage, and he like, nah, man, I ain't with that. I'm with Trump. Because to me, that looks suspicious of how they try to take this man out and how the Secret Service is talking like, well, it wasn't our responsibility. It was the local police supposed to protect that area. That's weird. And he already pledging a gift. I believe he said $40-some million a month.
Yes. 42 million, I believe it was, or 46.
Yeah, so it's up to, so she's gonna have to, and she needs those donors. So we shall see. I know she was on the phone with the donors, I believe Friday or yesterday. Kamala Harris was on the phone with donors to reassure them that she's ready. But again, the national media forgot about Kamala Harris, so we was all focused on the. So by Monday, they're gonna be doing some digging, and them Republicans, all they have to do, because they want black men, is to bring every black man she locked up and that they were falsely accused, is to bring them on the campaign trail.
While you look at the picture that I sent you that Joe Biden posted, how he's got this picture with him and Kamala. I'm just looking at everything. You're right. And I sent you one more thing too. The Clintons officially endorsed.
Yeah, they officially endorsed them because they had to get on the phone with donors and say, hey, don't drop out from Kamala Harris. They have no choice because they're loyal to the Democratic Party. I believe they all know that Kamala Harris is going to lose, but we still got to give it a fighting chance because it's still July. This is still a long way to November. We still got August. We still got September. We still got October. So we shall see how this is going to play out. Unfortunately, due to the fact that people are forgetting here, President Biden is not resigning as president because he's so senile. It's going to harm whatever Biden do or he failed to do is going to harm Kamala Harris. So we're going to see how Biden and if she don't have no sway with the president's decision, then she's going to fail. We shall see. And I believe Biden going to be pissed. The little piece of his mind that's left, or the people that that he got in charge, because they don't like that President Obama threw him under the bus. It's going to be a war. It's going to be a war. It's going because they really wanted Biden to win, and they didn't want because they know that was a guarantee. But when he did that debate, that all went out the window. There's no way he could do some more debates. Even when he went on BET, he's like he couldn't talk. He couldn't name who was the Department of Defense. He couldn't name that person. Oh, he's a black guy. He couldn't name names. I felt bad for President Biden. I really did. Because
I did too.
They kept putting him on TV as though like, I gotta go ask you. He couldn't even ask your questions. This is the one thing that they're going to use in a commercial. When President Biden got Kamala Harris confused with President Trump and said, well, I was going to make Vice President Donald Trump the Vice President, blah, blah. You couldn't even name your Vice President. So that
was it.
It's very horrible. And they're going to keep putting Biden on TV. For me, if I was his advisor, he needs to be going on mute because he can't talk. He cannot talk. Even his press secretary got to go because she got caught tweeting as President Biden on her account. She forgot to switch accounts. So right then and there, it just shows that White House they're incompetent because they all trying to hide this lie that he's good, he's strong. And that's what Republicans get to use. That he's unwell, they're liars. They put somebody sick, elder abuse. Why would they do that? They are knockdown liars because it's still going to remain to the voters like, Dad, why can't Biden do it? What happened? And so everything that Trump says is going to reiterate in his base and the world. They're going to be looking at Trump like maybe Trump is on to something.
Yeah, you're right. You own it. I'm tuned in. Thank you for letting me on. I know we got to get to the next topic. I can't wait to hear your opinions on this as well. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Y'all seen Wiley Cash App? I sent my donation for the day as well. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Y'all better send y'all donation because we definitely got to go to that DNC because there's going to be some drama upon drama at that DNC, honey.
Well, let's go ahead and set the goal and what day we want to have your gold by. The
I'm
DNC
gonna
is August 19th.
I'm gonna put a GoFundMe because it's really just playing for the flight, because I'm gonna stay around my mom's house because them hotels gonna be out of control, because I'm gonna take my phone, I'm going outside. I want y'all to see for just to play for the flight to get me from Vegas to Chicago, because I have to get there, because I want you all to see. And best believe I'm going to that DNC, because when I tell you, y'all need to see Chicago outside of the United Center, because they're going to put on the best of the best. But the real reality of Chicago is outside there. You're going to see crime. You're going to see the migrants. You're going to see protests. It's all there. They even banning, they're blocking people all the way like 12 blocks, 13 blocks. They don't want no protests at all. But unfortunately, you can't stop the Wiley Show, because you're going to see me boots on the ground. You're going to see all that stuff. And I told a sister that she have a show that comes on Saturdays. It's like a cable show. And I told her, sis, you need to be on there recording that stuff, put that on YouTube, and show the people like what's going on. They said, yes, Chicago.
I didn't know. Yeah, Chicago is just as bad as New York with the migrant situation.
It's worse.
It's just as bad.
It is really worse, because the city of Chicago, they did something so stupid. They said, if you come with buses, if you don't give us a heads up, we're going to fine you. So you know what they did? They dropped them off in the suburbs. So a lot of them suburban communities, they was getting 911 calls. And mind you, they had to find people to speak that language. And they have to put them on the train back to Chicago. They told Chicago officials, listen, we can't take them. We don't have the money. We don't have the shelters. Some of this, they were shocked. And that's a strategy I told that Republican use. And it's a brilliant strategy. It's to bring the problem, make it a national problem. Because again, Texas have been dealing with the migrant crisis, border towns for decades.
For years.
Years. And when them Democrats kept saying, oh, we're border, because they do that's political talk. We're a sanctuary city, we love, and they start shipping them thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands, and they're giving them all this money. And that is why, if I were Trump, before the DNC comes, I would do a rally after the DNC is over in Chicago to show these people all of these states is up for grabs. I don't think we should just talk about a battleground. I think all of it is up for grabs. And just to show, and if he go to Chicago and they welcome him like they welcome him in Detroit, that's a sign that Democrats are losing their stronghold, because they have been losing black people for a while, especially black men. And if she lose, she got to lock in black women, because if she lose them, it's over. They got to vote it's got to be history-making type of voting. Because Trump people, they're voting because he already got people like myself that are left the Democratic Party, went to the Republican Party, and it's other folks that have put their support behind Trump. So it's Amber Rose speech. I would have never thought that I'd be saying, damn, Amber Rose gave a great speech. It's just that
she really did.
Right. I would never thought I would say that about Amber Rose.
That's right, me too.
Right, but it's just like I never thought. That means that the Republicans have put great thought behind their national campaign. They're not playing. They're not playing. So they think and then you go to the Democrats, we don't know what they're going to stand on, because they don't even know who their nominee is. Because until the delegates pledge for Kamala, it's up for grabs.
What do you think the stronger vote is in the black woman community? The black educated woman with the college degree? Do you think more of them vote than?
I think I don't know the numbers, but I just think black women, period, college degree or not, they love voting. They're very supportive of the Democratic Party, and they're loud and they're more organized.
But this year, I've been hearing them saying, "I'm just not voting."
Yeah, right, and that's a sign. And if it
didn't matter if they had a degree, I'm not voting.
That's a bad sign. That's a bad sign, because the Republicans, they are at it. They're strong, and they are together. And Democrats, they're not together, because black women are saying, "I'm not voting," because they're not getting nothing from the deal. And some black women that I talk to is that they don't care nothing about abortion. They never aborted. You know what I'm saying? Most of them don't even believe in abortion. Black women, when it comes to that issue, they are just in line.
That's not our talking point. That's not our talking point.
That's not the talking point. That talking point is for white liberals. That's not for Black women, because most of them are not aborting babies. Let's be clear. So and
you're not gonna get us with the church or one way or the other. Our religion is personal.
Absolutely,
not gonna get us that way.
Very personal. Absolutely. And it is, and that's what the Republicans, they love it, because the Republicans are fighting really, 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 really hard in getting the support, and it's working, because now, man, it's just like Kamala Harris she's wow, even though she was out there campaigning, but all of this scrutiny that she got to go through, they're gonna come out hard. They went after Hillary Clinton, she started fainting and getting dizzy. What do you think they're gonna do for Kamala Harris?
I do remember that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that, but now I remember that.
She was getting faint and dizzy because it was a lot of pressure, because it was a lot of corruption. Then one of her team members, he got his email searched, but again, it made Hillary look bad because she had a lot of ops. And then and let's be clear, Hillary didn't give a damn about Black people. She did not hire enough Black people. She hired white college students. You cannot bring white college students to Black neighborhoods and think they know those Black people. They don't know. Culturally speaking, it's you don't not gonna know. That's just like me going to a Mexican neighborhood. They all speak Spanish. I'm going there speaking English. It's like you got to get some people that speak their language, that understand the culture. And it's like when Denzel Washington talked about the hot cone, he said culturally is different. You know, he's talking about the culture. And the Hillary Clinton, all the people she had was young white folks, and they lost. And they always tell her, "You're gonna win." And then finally, towards the end, they knew they was losing. Let's throw money at Black-owned media. It was too late, because you should have put them. They should have been the priority from day one, especially when you know majority of the Black community vote Democrat. Doesn't make any sense. But they were preaching that Trump was racist, but the Democrats was barely giving Black-owned media posters, Black-owned media organized groups money. They have to scrape their own money to really do it. Democrats, they were doing a great job organizing, but if they don't give them money and put boots on the ground, I mean, it's going to take a lot of bread to really, really make sure, because Trump is them Republicans, they're strong. I mean,
the Democrats, as long as they continue to be scared to talk about the talking points that's actually probably going to move the needle a little bit, such as, let's just focus on Kamala. Kamala is a brown woman who decided to marry a Jewish man. And here for the last, let's just say, decade, they've been shoving that down our throats as Black women, that we may want to consider some other races, marrying other races, thinking outside of the box, doing for ourselves. Maybe you have to build your man up. Like, it's some strong talking points that they could have, allowed her to be more personal and even start to kind of talk about some of that stuff, put some of her personal life out front. That's what Black women want to see. That's what we want to talk about. Is like, what is your life like at home? Who are you? Before we just blindly vote for you. But they scared to do that. They scared to do it because they don't know what she's going to say. They don't know if she's going to be relatable in that sense. It's actually a talking point that they could ride with right now and kind of put it out front. But they're not going to do that either. They're going to continue to try to kind of hide that. But if they wasn't so scared, we could just be upfront about what it is, how she got to where she is.
We also have breaking
news. Get a seat at the table.
Right, and we also have breaking news here. Barack Obama is asking, pretty much, he's asking for a primary. He wants a primary. He is not giving, they're saying right here, I believe that Joe Biden vision and United America that provides opportunity for everyone will be a full display at the Democratic Convention in August. And I expect that every single one of us prepared to carry the message of hope and progress. So now President Obama is pretty much putting out there that he wants a primary. He's not going to give up. I told him that he's not going to, because Obama want to win, and he feels that Kamala Harris cannot win. This is bad.
And he's the only one that can say that. He is the only one that can step up and say that against her.
Yeah, he's the only one that can
Everybody else
say
is
that.
like, what?
And so Kamala got to do a lot of stuff.
She got to do a lot to be able to relate. She got to just get out here, balls to the wall, no fear with it. Like you said, I'm running this.
Yeah,
and
she got to be able to relate it. Absolutely.
If she don't do that and stand behind every decision she's ever made, good and bad, I had to say what I had to do. I had to do what I had to do to get a seat at the table, because it is that hard as a Black woman to get a seat at the table. Period.
Right, because when he's putting out about the convention, he's pretty much saying he wants competition. He's not. He could have easily said, no. What he wants is them to duke it out at the DNC.
Oh, this gonna be messy.
It's gonna be a messy convention. So like, I knew it, like, because President Obama, he's showing that whoever's advising him, they want to win, and he's a money guy, and he know what what they're judging it by the temperament of the donors and the polls, because they looking at Kamala like, oh, the numbers ain't numbering, because it was already a close neck and neck race with Joe Biden. Now with Kamala Harris, it's a landslide upon a landslide. And yeah, it's really gonna be rough. And President Biden's not strong enough to even because they know he's sick. Because if he was strong,
I just hope they don't put that California governor out front.
That's what I'm saying. I believe they really, but the donors want. But it's gonna be a war because Black people gonna be feel disrespect. So is Kamala, greatly so, because she's the VP and she'll automatically go to her, right? So it's going to be a war with the Congressional Black Caucus, and it's going to be a war because they're going to feel, and then the average Black, they're going to say this is blatantly racist. So that's
too much fuel on the fire. It's too much fuel on the fire.
It's not like the Democrats. They got to step in. The Republicans they're celebrating, because while they're doing all this, Trump already got his VP choice. We don't even know when is the next debate, if it's going to be a next debate, because Democrats don't even have a nominee. This leads the charge for the third party candidate, John F. Kennedy, for him to get more publicity, because now the Democrats are pretty much scrambling to who they're going to pick as their nominee.
And I think if he doesn't win, I think Trump's still going to hire him.
Oh, absolutely. You can tell. You can tell that they have a great relationship, because Trump came out and said that he should have Secret Service protection. And guess what they did? They gave it to him. So
they gave it to him off real.
I'm just saying, like, I believe every presidential candidate should have Secret Service protection. And that just showed, even with the leaked phone call that came out, which was not a leak, it was a strategic plan just to show Republicans like, hey, we on the side of John F. Kennedy. This is is really, really good, because again, most of his policy is the same as Trump, so I don't see like him being any different. So we shall see. Thank you, sister, for calling in. And
you're so welcome.
Yeah,
you're so welcome. Thank you for everything you're doing. Thank you for continuing to be great. Y'all send Wiley some cash apps. Seriously, he deserves. He do a lot of work. So, all right, I'm glad I was able to catch it live.
Thanks
again.
All right, y'all. So I'm gonna go from this subject, because this is a political subject. Y'all know we can talk about this all day. I'm gonna go to Miss Netta. We're gonna get into this whole Miss Netta and Charles situation here. And I told you guys that Miss Netta had been canceled. She put out a video. She was on TikTok Live, and she said that I'm tired of you Black women. I want to be a white woman, because white women are not mean and nasty. So people was like, what? Are you out there? Hootie. So they dropped her. Then Ms. Netta got in an argument with Charles, I guess girlfriend or the new woman, or they was in the pool. It was just so disgusting, and she cussing them out. They cussing each other out. Then I'm hearing that Charles lost his job. I'm like, what? All that stuff is going on? Crazy. And that's also getting to this, you guys. Do you think that Charles and Miss Netta is canceled? You think it is over? First of all, how can you, as a black person with all that crust and bumps, come out and say that you are done like with black people and you black as black can be? Do you think it's done? Are y'all done with Charles? Are y'all done with Miss Netta? Let me know in the chat here. Because me personally, I never was with them. I felt like they were overrated. I didn't know who Miss Netta represented. It just, I heard they live in a trailer park. Her face is just, I just wasn't with it. I would just say that I wasn't with it. So I would keep it all to myself, but I wasn't with it. That's what I have to say about Charles and Miss Netta. Now, I will also get into this subject here. If y'all did not know, baby, they have been dragging Storm Monroe. And I told people, I said, Storm, you doing all this talking, you weak. He got into it with Tasha K, I guess Minty. Everybody want to be Tasha K Minty now. They was dragging Storm. Sean was dragging Storm. I'm dragging Storm. Storm trying to drag me. He did a video with 10,000 views off of Wiley. So they tell you Wiley bring viewership. And in the interview, I was getting nothing but love and support from the Storm Chasers. But I feel like it's very disgusting because Storm Monroe's mother, because her back, she had to get back shots. And they was talking about how Storm Monroe's mother was over there with Tasha, and Tasha gave her a bed, and she fed Tasha K mother, because Tasha K mother showed up, very hungry, and Storm was very hungry, and she helped get him a name. See, I can talk about Tasha, Sean can talk about Tasha, even Armon Wiggins could talk about Tasha. We don't have that history where she picked us from the hot gutter and gave our mother Capital One credit cards and food. So what Storm have to understand is, I've been telling him from day one, you're not that dude. You on the down low. You are a disgusting human being. You are a jealous human being. You get all this good. And I told Armand, I said, you are high and you're stupid. Because you know doggone well this man took your content, got all of these views, and you barely got 5,000 views on your content. You stupid. Y'all be sitting on the phone talking about the Wiley Show, A, B, and C. You dumb. What you talking about me for? Why is I'm a discussion? Ain't nobody checking for you, Storm. That moderator that you brought paid today, and she'll get cussed out again. I'm going to cuss her out when I go back on station here. What you going to do about it? You ain't her daddy. You ain't nothing. You on somebody else's platform. You're weak. Why you can't defend yourself? You tried to eat a woman's box and said her box was fishy. You did. You do all of this talking and get up on these platforms because you can't get viewership no more. What happened to your 80,000 views, 90,000 views, 100,000? Because you can't buy viewership no more. You the one that's eating crab cakes and fish sandwiches, gaining all that weight. That's a you problem. That was your mother failure as a parent that made you change your name because you want to be wearing nails and makeup and hair. Then go live your life. Go live it. You on the phone with Armand because you at one point had more viewership than Armand. He's using you. Can't you see it? With your messed up nose. Stop it. He's using you. You want to be so known by Armon, a person that feel like he's better than you? Get the grease and the pot roast juice out of your ears and understand every time he talk his ish, I get more views than Storm, and people join Storm, and knowing I'm more lit than Storm, and Storm got my whole content and my whole set and my whole this and my whole that. He was just trashing you. And you over there on the phone pillow talking with him about Tasha children? Are you stupid? You on that pillow talking? You don't want to come on show the people because you gain weight, you up there eating? Baby back ribs and collard greens, drenched in hot sauce and ketchup. You mad because the Wiley Show is beautiful. The Wiley Show is out here doing great things. And you're angry because you wake up in the morning and you're disgusted of how you look. That is a Storm Monroe problem. I told you a long time ago, stop hanging around Armon because you're going to pick up that spirit because he want to take you down with him because he did not like when you interview his daddy. And when he whooped his mama. You know this. If a man whoop his mama, he will whoop you too. He whooped his mama. They were fist fighting. And if a man whoop his mama, what do you think he will do to you? People all around the country that watched that interview that I did with Storm, just know this. We are 1000% against Storm Monroe download activity. We feel that Storm should come out of the closet and be himself. And I can guarantee he will be happy. His content will be more beautiful. It will be rainbow. It will taste the rainbow. It will be beautiful. But because he's stumped down in the closet and stress eating because he can't be with a man out in the open, I wonder, would he respond to Sean? I wonder, would he have something to say towards Sean, what Sean said towards him and said all that stuff about him? Would he have anything to say? Or is he going to be muted? And while he's eating a fish sandwich, keep on eating it. Keep on eating it. I wish I would look to a crackhead for approval. But they love him. They love him. Thank y'all so very much. Make sure y'all go to my backup page, subscribe, and all of that. Show y'all love. And like I said, when you come on the Wiley Show, we're going to always tell the truth. I believe that with Storm and all these other people are mine. They are evil, nasty people. And that's why they're drug addicts. Because when you chose the drugs, Storm drug of choice is food. Armon drug of choice, he have many different choices. Cocaine and crystal meth. He have showed us, you guys, how disgusted and high he is in his videos. We have his friend that have testified and wrote articles and text messages of how nasty and obsessed Armon Wiggins have been and how he was pressuring Armon Wiggins to do it and discussing and bringing it up and pressuring him to go against Wiley. I don't know if y'all heard it. Do it now, press the gas. He is that sick and drug addict person. I talked to King and I said, King, I don't know if you touched and violated those young boys. That's between you and those parents. But did not say that he violated him and groped him and touched him repeatedly when it was in LA. Wow. Yikes. Now, if anybody want to call in, now the choice for you to call in. The number is on the screen here. I will put the number on the screen here, 972-674-9462. If you got something to say, now is the moment for you to give your thoughts of what you have to say about anything that's going on out here. That's 972-674-9462, 972-674-9462, and you can give your thoughts of what you want to say about all of this. And we thank you all for your massive support of what you was doing. Thank you all so very much. And this was great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me see who was this person that had left me a message. Hold on, y'all. Joyce, call in. I don't know what you talk about. You ain't making no sense. What are you talking about, Joyce?
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying.
You ain't making no sense. At all. Okay? Thank you all so very much for your mass support. Now, we'll be back live tonight. I've got all that type of stuff that we have been doing. And thank you all, because it's going to be some more juicy stuff that's going to be coming down the pipeline. And we will talk to y'all later on that. Thank you to everybody that have contributed to the Wiley Show. Love y'all dearly. And also tonight, we'll be back live and we'll be giving our thoughts on some more news, because it's a lot that's going on. If we missed something that we did not talk about, you could always email us at wileyshow@gmail.com, or you could text us at the 972-674-9462. And thank you all so very much. Joyce, ain't no giving you a second, honey. If you can put your makeup on by coming on the show, you can forget about it, okay? All right. Put on your makeup. You should be all ready, okay? You know, how long do it take you to look like that? Okay, like how long is it gonna take you to put on all that makeup? How long? Just how long it's gonna take you to put on all that makeup? How long, honey? How long, honey? Little black boy, you beautiful. Little black girl, you are enough. When times get hard, always remember to put God first. Thank you, and y'all have a blessed night.